What's up, lords and ladies? Here we go. This is Nightly Meals number 2. So, what are we doing tonight? My namesake, my currently only objective in life, chicken wings. All right, so for chicken wings, a very simple meal, we need to put some things in place. Mise en place, especially for chicken wings, is extremely important. Let's go. All right, lords and ladies, here we go. So step 1, we need chicken. Duh! So, number 1, these are wings and drummies. They have been thawed, and I'm going to explain what's in them in just a second. They've been thawed and they've been drained. So, I have taken just a simple vessel like this, and I have set them over my sink, drained any juice into the sink, any unwanted liquid. So, let's be forthright about chicken. Raw chicken is admittedly a little dangerous. You have to be a little careful with chicken. Chicken, undercooked, gets everywhere. You have to worry about something called salmonella. There's a reason we have to cook chicken to a certain temp, 165. Chicken is something to be a little cautious about. You don't have to be afraid of it, but be cautious about it. You don't want to do any cross-contamination. Now, once your chicken has been drained in the sink, what I have done is I have placed it in a large bowl. And in this bowl, I have placed cornstarch and AP, just general flour, in equal parts and mixed them all around. I'm not going to touch it because I'm already washed my hands, and I have just let it sit. So those are now dried, dredged in flour and cornstarch. Why flour and cornstarch? Very simple. There are two schools of thought when it comes to chicken wings. You can do chicken wings without any of this. You don't have to coat them or flour them at all. What you would do is you would take them out of the sink, you would put them into a bowl on some paper towel. You're trying to get rid of as much moisture on the skin of chicken as possible. Dry skin, crispy. Or you can take and you can put it in a dredge. Flour, AP flour, is fine, but we can make things a little crispier. Science has come a long way. There are many crusaders out there finding better and better methods of cooking chicken, of making it crisper and better textures and sauces sticking. One of them is cornstarch. Something else you could use, rice flour, would work equally as well. You could even crush up panko breadcrumbs to a certain extent. You can use lots of different things, malto meal. You can do all kinds of things to make chicken crispy. Do it however you'd like. I use cornstarch quite a bit. I use flour quite a bit. You can season it. The reason I'm not seasoning it, normally some salt and some pepper would be really nice, or maybe even some spice mix, maybe even one of my spice mixes. Lee, you make spice mix? No way. Anyway, the reason I'm not doing that is because I'm going to cover it in hot sauce, and we're going to get to that at the end. Now, chicken in the bowl, drained, thawed, dredged. What other mise en place do we need? We need hot sauce! Wow! I'm going to use a couple of hot sauce varieties today. You need a bowl to mix them around in. I'm going to toss them in here. You don't need any kind of branded spoon or nothing. I'm just going to use this because it's easy. This is just a little wiggly tip guy. You need some dressing. Oh, look at that. We've got some sour cream. We've got some Hellmann's mayo. We've got some blue cheese crumbles, which were frozen, by the way. Blue cheese, you can freeze as long as it crumbles. And actually, you could freeze a big hunk of it. It doesn't matter. It thaws very well. And some salt and some pepper. Bananas included. So, we have Hellmann's, sour cream, we have blue cheese crumbles, we have salt, pepper, and beer. Beer. Why do we need beer? Because it's finally the weekend and we're going to cook some chicken wings with some blue cheese dressing, and we're really going to enjoy ourselves. Now, naturally, what's perhaps more important, second only to the chicken wings? The vessel to cook them in. So, once again, we return to the pot. And in the pot, I have a neutral oil. What's a neutral oil? A neutral oil can be any kind of oil, such as canola. It could be anything with a high smoke point. Avocado works well. Peanut works well. You have all kinds of oil options. This is canola, just because I have it. And unfortunately, oil is expensive. So not only do I have canola oil, this is pre-used canola oil. But isn't that dangerous? Can't you get bacteria by letting oil come to a room temperature and storing it in a sealed container? Yes, you can. How do you get rid of it? Heat. What's the number one way to get rid of almost every single bacteria on this entire planet? Heat. We are going to heat this oil to a minimum of 350 degrees before we put any food in there. Now, obviously, you can see an apparatus in here. What is my magical strainer device? Ooh. Yes, well, I cook a lot of chicken wings. You all know I cook a lot of chicken wings. So I have a magical, mystical device called a stem strainer. There are many names for this. You can find them all over. You have a little cross pattern that lets you go in, scoop things out of hot oil, it's made of stainless steel, and put them into your draining vessel. This is just a wire rack with a bunch of paper towels in it. I am going to take a leaf out of many popular chefs' books. I'm going to tell you this more than once. Don't crowd your fryer. I have enough chicken wings in my bowl that I'm going to do 2 fries. I'm going to split those up in half so there's no problem with our oil. Boom, easy peasy. So that's our mise en place. Now, I am going to come back when our oil is closer to temperature. Oh, Lee, how do you know when your oil is close to temperature? Well, as any good paladin knows, you need to have the correct tools. What kind of tools do I have? I have, sorry, it's sitting over here. Derp. I have a thermometer. Now, there are many, many foods you don't necessarily need a thermometer to use. If you do a lot of cooking, you can tell when a steak is finished. You can use the hand method. You can use the touch method. You can use all kinds of methods. You know when noodles are done. You can take them out of the pot of water and you can taste them to make sure they're al dente. There are many examples I can give you. However, as a good cook, cooking things to temperature is easier than guessing. So, why do I have a Thermapen? The brand doesn't matter. Why do I have this? To make sure my oil is at the right temperature when I put things in a fry. So, I've got a vessel full of oil. I'm heating it right now on high. What am I trying to get my oil to? Well, I'm trying to get it to a minimum of 350. However, I would like my oil to be much hotter. I would like my oil to be about 400. That's not always possible with whatever apparatus you have at home, whatever style oven, doesn't matter. Get your oil as hot as you are comfortable with. Oil is dangerous. Cooking, frying, sauteing, things at home with oil, shallow frying, blah, 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 is inherently dangerous. How do we mitigate risk? We mitigate risk by not overflowing, not putting too much oil in a pot. This is at about 60%. I'm only going to put half my chicken wings in. This will not overflow. How do I guarantee? But Lee, oil splatters, all kinds of things happen. Bad stuff happens when you put things into oil. Wet things, right? Why did I dredge my chicken wings? One of the methods you could have done is putting them in a bowl, covering them with paper towels, trying to get as much moisture away from them as possible so that when you drop them in to the oil, you don't have a splattering explosion of hot, flaming everything badness everywhere. I choose a dredge method. Putting flour, putting cornstarch, putting rice flour, putting whatever to soak up the moisture of your chicken wings will allow them to be very dry as they go into the oil. That ensures that there will be very minimal splattering, very minimal overboiling, very minimal problems. How do I continue to mitigate these issues? With one of these. So forgive this, it's well loved, it's well used, but this is a oil splatter screen. So right here, one of these, as you can tell, it's well loved, it's got a bunch of stuff on it, but it's meant to do what it's meant to do. It's meant to sit on a vessel just like this, and the screen fibers are going to catch any oil that try and splash out and spread everywhere and get my kitchen dirtier than already is. So, all of these steps that we have taken ahead of time, ahead of cooking, mise en place, everything in its place, to ensure that when we are ready to cook, It will be fast and it will be easy. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to temp my oil. We're going to make the blue cheese dressing together, and then we're going to fry some chicken wings. I'll be right back. All right, lords and ladies, here we go. In a small porcelain vessel, I'm going to add a dollop, equal parts of Hellmann's mayo, and some Daisy sour cream. You can use whatever you'd like. I'm using this up because sour cream goes bad. Mayo does too, but at a much less rate. I'm using about a big dollop, just a big dollop. I like blue cheese. Wally doesn't. Wally's wrong. I like blue cheese, so I want to taste the blue cheese. So I'm going to add just a little bit of sour cream. That's about done. She's about empty. I'm not going to scrape it out of there. Yes, I'm wasting a tiny, tiny bit. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. Gosh, get off my back, Mom. Okay. I'm going to quickly rinse my spoons and I can cross-contaminate anything. And I'm going to return to the screen. I could work on a bunch of things. I should strap something to my head to show you. Mayonnaise. Same amount. Bleh. I'm going to add this here. I'm going to give the camera angle before I do anything else. Back in the fridge with you. I licked the spoon. It's mine. Doesn't matter. Okay. About that much. And we're just going to beat it around. Now, I could have grabbed a bigger bowl and been smarter about this, but we can't. We can't foresee everything. Dang it. No amount of paladin training or quests can make you perfect at what you're doing. But, alright, so I have mixed this around. Not destroyed it, not quite demolished everything into a fine mix. You could absolutely put this in a blender if you wanted this smoother. Or use it like a hand mixer or something like that. But, we're going to go right to there. So, from there, what are we going to do? Well, I know for a fact, I like salt. We're going to add a big crack of salt. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to add a big crack of fresh black pepper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to mix this around. We're going to give this a taste. Now, you could do all kinds of fancy stuff with your blue cheese. You can add a bunch of stuff at this point. You could add some acidity, some lemon juice, even some vinegar would be nice. You could add some green onions. You could add a bunch of things to make this kind of more special or kind of more fancy. Some Worcestershire would be good in this. You could do a bunch of things. Pardon me. Drink responsibly. You could add a bunch of things to this, and it would be great. But I just kind of like. That's quite lovely, actually. Perfect. A touch salty. Black pepper. Tangy blue cheese. I buy this big bag of stuff that I separated out into smaller bags, and then I freeze it. Pull it out whenever I want to do wings like this. I don't always do buffalo wings. I don't always do hot sauce wings. More to come. Anyway, there we go. You can take and then put this in the fridge until you're ready. I'm not worried. Again, we have a 2-hour limit on food. This is going to take, I don't know, total cook time. It's probably one of the longer cooks, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Cooking chicken wings is something you kind of have to be prepared for. And even when you're prepared for it, it does take some time. Total cook time for this is probably 40 minutes, maybe 35 if you've got a super powerful stove. Anyway, that done. Looks gorgeous. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, I'm going to check back in. I'm just going to do it right now. Let's just temp our oil. So, I'm going to pop the smoke out just like this. Gives a very simple reading. Oil currently says, yeah, we're about there. Now, vessels will obviously take different amounts of time based on what you have, but I'm almost there. So, I'm going to come back in like 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm going to show you what happens as best I can when we drop some wings in. All right, lords and ladies, here we go. We've waited. We have temped to 410 degrees. No problem. It could go much hotter. I don't necessarily need it to. Yes, there's a lot of school of thought that going to 425 or 450 is the best for frying chicken. I'm not that worried about it. This is home cooking. You can afford to be a little left or right of whatever you need to be. Plus or minus 10 degrees, plus or minus 20 degrees in terms of raging hot oil. Not worried about it. So, we have oil. We have pot, we have pan. I'm gonna move my chicken wings right here. I'm gonna do this as best I can with one hand, but I'm gonna show you. So, raging hot oil. Very carefully, we're gonna lower that in. All of that is great. That's music to our ears. Notice, no sputtering, no splashing, very minimal noise. These are all great things. Oh, look at there. So I'm very carefully monitoring the surface. I am in no danger here. You're going to hear a little splattering as the chicken begins to cook. I'm going to stop there. Okay. I have added that much chicken to my pot. That is safe. If you are nervous, add less. Not a big deal. I'm washing my hands. Very important. No cross-contamination. Food safety. Woo! All right. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to very lightly take my big long guy and move things around gently. Now, what happens? Let's say you add something. Let's say you add too much. What can you do? You can immediately turn off the heat. You could immediately cover this if you have a lid. First and foremost, we're going to avoid that situation. We are going to fry chicken safely. We're not going to fill our pot with too much oil. We're not going to make our oil too hot. If your oil starts smoking for any reason, turn it off. Turn it off, walk away, try again. Order a pizza, do something else. If your oil is smoking, that's a problem. Food safety. Now, I'm going to put this guy over here. You can hear a little bit more noise coming from it, which is good. And now we wait, lords and ladies. Now we sit back, read the local tablet, talk to the local squire boy or girl, try and find out what's going on in the kingdom, partake of a libation, unwind after a long week of questing, of trying, of whatever's going on in your particular neck of the woods. We're going to come back in about 5 or 6 minutes. What is the temperature that you need to cook chicken to, no matter what? Sigh, 165. Thank you, Wally. 165. Be right back. All right, lords and ladies, we're back. And as you can clearly hear, there is a lot of action going on. So we're going to check our chicken. At the top of our chicken, you can see them floating at the surface. They have turned a lovely golden brown color. These, I know from experience, are ready. How do I know from experience? Because I've cooked hundreds of thousands of chicken wings. That's why I look the way I look. Anyway, exercise is important. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fish them out of here. Just like this with my handy scoop. Boy, doesn't that make it look easy. Make sure there's no extra oil. And into the spot right there. So, oh, just like that. Oh, suddenly all the noises stopped. Don't those look beautiful? Those look great, don't they? So, we're going to put them in here to cool down. Once they're in there, we have a dual purpose. So, inside here, they are going to cool down and they are going to sop up all that extra oil. Notice how that guy's still bubbling right there. Intense. While we do that, our pot of oil is going to come back up to temperature. Now is the point where I'm going to add my second and possibly even third batch if I don't have enough room in my fryer. So what I'm going to do right now until I'm finished cooking is this exact same process. I'm going to repeat it over and over again. I'm going to add a batch of chicken to my hot oil. I'm going to pull my chicken out when it's fully cooked. If you're worried at all or nervous, use your temp. Once this is all completed, we're going to come back, we're going to sauce the wings, and we're going to try it. All right, here we are. All my wings have been fried. I have turned my cooking apparatus off. My wings all floated to the top. I've temped them to 165 minimum. We are ready to sauce. Boom! Easy peasy. Everything's safe, everything's off, everything is feeling just fine. We're gonna come over here. You can still see them. They're still hot. You can maybe hear that if you can. But they look lovely. They look golden brown. Oh! So, into our bowl. I'm gonna do this as best I can with one hand. We're gonna go like this. Ooh, they're a little hot. They're a little hot. You're gonna, in my case, I have 3 sauces. I'm going to try and divide them as evenly as I can. Quick math. I'm a paladin of virtue, not a paladin of mathematics. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, fine. So, fried chicken. Anyway, Bud Lee, you have such mild sauces. Yeah, you eat a lot of hot sauce. You can choose whatever sauces you want. I won't judge you. Don't judge me. No, just kidding. Why am I using this? Because I like an ascending heat scale. I want to do a nice mild one. I want to do a nice medium one. Cholula is not necessarily medium in this case, but we're going to go like this. With one hand. And then I'm going to go like that, show you my ugly face, like this. Oh yeah. Or, if I am intelligent, I can, yeah. Like this. Oh no, look at that. Oh no. Wow. Oh no, look at that. Boy, it's such a shame. Oh goodness. Boy, don't those look great. And because of the cornstarch and my choice of 50/50 cornstarch AP flour, they are going to remain crispy for a good long while. And they're still hot. Why am I doing this without gloves or tongs? Is because I've cooked a lot of food. I used to be a cook. More on that in the future. Ooh, yummy. Oh yeah, a little Louisiana, a little classic, something like this. I'm going to quickly rinse my bowl to try and give the flavors their best shot at being separated. What happens when you heat hot sauce up? It gets hotter. That's right. So putting hot sauce on hot chicken wings equals hot sauce. Wally, has anybody patented that?
You can't patent that, moron.
Damn. Round 2. 1, 2, a nice mix of all the boys and girls. We don't discriminate here. Wow, look at that. And then some, something that goes good with blue cheese, but I'm not that judgmental. Woo. What you don't see off camera every time I do a Will It Chicken Wing video is I make these same noises by myself upstairs when I'm alone. God, I'm lonely. Oh no. Oh, what a shame. That guy's not totally covered yet. Oh, some hot sauce. Boy. I sure hope Wally doesn't think I'm totally nuts when I do this. Look at that. Hot. Ew. Sauce number 3. Oh no. Oh, my apparatus. This is so entertaining. Goodness gracious. That guy needs a frickin' food Emmy. A Femmy. No. Sauce number 3. The remaining chicken wings. And these are going to be spicy. And there's more of them because my math is atrocious. Damn it. Like I said, I'm a paladin of virtue. I'm not a paladin of mathematics. Shit. Oh no. Now this one's extra hot. This is the Logs hot sauce, goat pepper. This was really good. On chicken wings. This is gonna beat me up. Oh God. Throw this away. Another sauce down. Oh, you can smell this one, the pickled stuff. I know for a fact Logs uses a copious amount of vinegar in his, and they come out very pickled, and they're very lovely sauces. I don't know why Wally was so mad at me. Maybe it's because I didn't try them on the same day. Maybe because the continuity of this whole universe is broken. More on that later. Anyway, look at that. Da 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 da. Chicken wings. I don't think that's a very good thumbnail, but I don't care. All right, lords and ladies, let's try one. And of course, we have to try the hottest one on camera because we just have to. Yum! Blue cheese! Oh, yeah. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Mm.
Get on with it.
Blue cheese is salty. That's a kick-ass chicken wing. That's a kick-ass chicken wing to have with a beer on a Friday night, on a Tuesday night. Maybe not with a beer on a Tuesday night, but you be you. Yep. I am the sexiest paladin in the land. And that, lords and ladies, is how you make chicken wings on a nightly meal. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'm sure to do more of these videos here in the future. This one is probably one of the longest cooks. Hopefully the rest will be shorter and easier. But it's my namesake, Will a Chicken Wing. I had to make them. These are going to be delicious. I'm going to eat too many. That's it for me, lords and ladies. I am Pixel the Paladin. This has been Nightly Meals. Thank you for watching. Stay safe out there.